Hi guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks, and it's Sunday, so it's time for another random destruction. And today it's tier 10 match. I'm in the WZ11114. It's Chinese tier 9 heavy tank. I've not got it fully upgraded yet, and it was actually based off the T10, which, you know, is understandable because it kind of looks like it, and if the turret looks familiar, well, it should. It's the IS-3 turret at the minute. I've now got the proper WZ111 turret on it, and it's very, very similar to the one on the Chinese tier 8 premium heavy, the 112. But at the moment, I've got the 100mm gun, which is the same one as the one on the 110. There's a lot of numbers being thrown about, isn't there? 6 rounds a minute, 215 pen with 320 average damage. It's a decent rate of fire on this gun, and you can make it work. You know, it's I'm in a tier 10 match, but yeah, this gun, you can make it work. Like I say, it's got 265 for its premium, so you might have to fire the odd one of those, but yeah, it's not too bad. Turret armour at the minute, 249 on the front, 172 on the sides, and 100 on the rear. And your hull armour on this is 120 on the front, same as the T10, I think. 80 on the sides, which is possibly maybe a little bit less if memory serves me right, and 60 on the rear. It has got the spaced armour down the side as well. There's the enemy WZ11114. And yeah, the first thing that struck me about this when I unlocked it was just how nimble it is. You know, it's got a fairly decent traverse and hull traverse, turret traverse and hull traverse. It's got a 50 km/h top speed, and quite a decent power to weight ratio for a heavy tank. In fact, well, so has the T10 actually, and same sort of deal. You drive it more like a heavy medium than a traditional heavy. But yeah, I kind of like it, and I like this gun. Like I say, it's got a very good rate of fire. The top gun on this, I think, is a 130mm, so I'm looking forward to trying that out, seeing what it's like. But it does have quite a slow rate of fire, about 4.2 rounds a minute, something like that. Anyway, did I say it was a tier 10 match? I think I did. Yeah, Hidden Village anyway, standard battle, get that away, probably forgot it. But I've come down into the village. There's not really many of us down here, and now there's a bat chat turned up, which is not particularly good news, although I'm not doing too bad against the enemy WZ111. I want to try and push myself into here as much as possible to try and hide the front. One of the main differences, though, is the pike nose upper glacis on this, whereas on the T10 the pike nose extends all the way down, and it looks like a more traditional one. This one doesn't. It sort of looks like a mix of a traditional sloped upper glacis and a pike nose. It's quite strange. I'll try and... I probably will review it at some point, I normally do. Now, the enemy 111 or 111, I think I'll just start calling it, is gone. The bat chat seems to be bugging out. Good auto-loading gun on that. Fast tank. Not very good armour though. To be honest, he probably could have given me a bit of hassle. Really. You know, he's a tier 10 medium. I'm a tier 9. Got some damage. He probably could have clipped me. So, I don't know. But I'd seen this light tank trying to sneak around behind me, and it didn't work. And I slam around the corner into him. He misses. I don't. And yeah, I'm just pushing forward and just pinning him from the side on the front of my tank. And that's what I mean with this tank. You know, it's got a decent speed power to weight ratio. You know, he couldn't get away, and I managed to just pin him against the wall and take him down. And that's when I realised I'm kind of on my own down here. Somebody has said to follow him, possibly that medium off to my right, and I'm starting to think that might be a good idea, but I don't know. I was wondering where that bat chat was, to be honest. And I was going to leave the village, and then the bat chat popped up, and I thought, do you know what? I'm going to go back through the village a bit cautiously and see if I can take down that bat chat. Now, I've used this match. I mean, it was a good match. You know, I had fun in it. It seemed, you know, I think it's an entertaining match, and I hope you guys do as well. But there is one point in it where I make a mistake, and I kicked myself because it was one of those instances where I knew I'd made a mistake as soon as I did it, and I don't want to. Well, I'll just try and discuss it a bit. I don't want to give too much away. You see, there's the back chat, and yeah, cheeky little lock on and fire. And now we've got a waffle dragon. Got to be careful. He's backing up though. I've got a good rate of fire. Can I get him? Oh, and it just slightly low rolled. And gave him a mercy roll. And then I take a hit from an E100. I was trying to guess where the waffle dragon might be. But I didn't get him. But yeah, that E100 tracked me. And did some damage as well. Now, it's 11-11. There's 4 of us left on each side. And we could do with kind of sticking together. I know there's a waffle dragon up that way somewhere. I know there's an E100 up that way somewhere. Slightly off to my right because of where I took that hit from. There's the E100. If I can get behind this rock, I've got some cover, and I'm in quite a strong position here. I can pull back, and I'm only exposing my turret front, which is good and strong. My hull's hidden, and my side is an auto bounce zone. So I leave it. Yes. And I knew I'd made a mistake. I thought he was moving forwards, and I thought he was actually driving off. I didn't think he was going to come back. And the waffle dragon comes out, and yeah, I'm done. And, you know, I was in a good, strong position, and I left it, and I don't know why. I honestly thought the U100 had moved on to move further up the map, and I was trying to get across in some different cover, and that cost me, and could potentially have cost us the match. I don't know, but 3,263 damage, and I came second in the tier 10 match, so I was quite happy with that. But the M48 pattern, he looked like he had a cracking game with 5,500 damage done, so yeah, well done. But yeah, I don't know. Definitely cost me, and it was definitely a mistake. I should have just stayed in that strong position. It was a really good place to be. The waffle dragon couldn't get me, the U100 couldn't get me. And yeah, sudden rush of shit to the brains, and that's it, done. Anyway, something a little bit different. I had a request from one of you guys for a bit more tier 10 in the random destruction, so trying to oblige as much as possible, and it's a bit fun as well, isn't it, because it's the Deathstar. It makes you feel a little bit dirty because, well, yes, it is very, very OP, this gun, and it is fun to drive. I fire nothing but Hesh because I'm a scrub. So I've got 275mm of penetration, 1,750 average damage. Turret armour is quite decent actually on the front, but it's not all over the front. 254mm, 102 on the side, so not brilliant there, and a paltry 76 on the rear. That's, yeah, to say turret, yeah. It's tier 10 match, obviously. Encounter swamp. There you go. And 152 on the front of the hull with a very, very poor 51 on the sides, and again 76 on the rear. But the the sides make the rear look positively like Fort Knox. But it's based off the FV215B, obviously. One of the tier 10 British heavies. I don't take the Deathstar out too often, but when I do, it's just to have a bit of fun and just feel a bit cheap and dirty. Well, although it is anything but cheap to run. Now, 4502B, and I've got slightly the side of his turret, and I bet he felt that. 1,849 damage. That penned the side of his turret. Yeah. I bet he is absolutely cursing me. And of course that is the advantage of Hesh. It is high explosive. So you don't get the normalisation that you would. But it's got a absolutely ridiculous penetration on it at 275mm. And even if you don't pen, you're going to splash for maybe 800, 900 damage if you're lucky. Well, maybe even not if you're lucky, but This IS-3 has just peeked out, and yeah, he's out of here. And this is why I put this Deathstar match on, because it's just funny. It is just... while I was doing this, and my wife looked up just as the IS-3 exploded, and she was just sort of crying with laughter. This is partly because it's funny, it's just seeing it happen, and partly because it's so not funny when it happens to you. But it is just one of those things, and like I say, you just, every now and again you've got to feel dirty, haven't you? Right, let's see what damage I can do over here. It almost feels like a waste. Oh, thank you for taking out the T-57. It almost felt like a waste, just shaving off that little bit of health. Now, there's another one over there, and I've not got much to shoot at, just a bit at the top of his turret. Do I risk it? Yeah. Oh, and he's gone. 1,500 damage. And people say this is this is balanced. Of course it is. I do love this. I've got to get to the Waffle Dragon. I hate those things. I absolutely hate them, so I want one. It is like that though sometimes, isn't it, with World of Tanks? A tank that you absolutely despise coming up against. You absolutely hate the damn things. You curse, swear. You know, you threaten to boil their pets and all that sort of stuff. And then you just think, yeah, I want one. And this was one of those things for me. Getting nuked by a Deathstar just immediately made me think I want one of those. And of course getting Waffle Dragoned, that makes me want one of those as well. Now the match is looking very good in our favour actually. It's 8-2, we've got a 6 tank lead. The only downside to this is it's big, and you've not got great gun depression because of the rear mounted turret. And it's not a fully traversable turret either, as you can see by the damage diagram down in the left. But it is one of those tanks that's just good fun. Although the rounds are ridiculously expensive. Yeah, I just didn't really want to... I don't know why. I found myself being a bit tight with that shot. It's like, oh well. But then again, I think when they're about 8,000 or 9,000 silver per shell, you do have to be a bit frugal sometimes. Now, let's see what other mischief I can cause. Got an M103. If I can get the side of him, that's he's a goner. And there's a Conqueror as well. If I can get the hull of the Conqueror, he could be gone in one. I'm just looking for a decent place to shoot the M103. And again, it just felt a bit of a waste, and then I just cock it up altogether. Yeah, that's what happens when you hesitate. Now, T-54E1, he's getting a good kick in. There's the Conqueror just waiting for that reload, which is, you know, it's one of the prices you pay. But then again, I think I did just bounce that Conqueror there off my turret, so that was nice. Now, is that M103? Oh, he's still alive. And I really don't want to hit him for that, and I was hoping the E100 was going to put a shell into him so I could just go for the Conqueror, but he doesn't. So I'll just pop round the corner. Yeah, overkill. And then in a futile attempt to do a bit more damage, ram the Conqueror for, yes, nothing. And then, yeah, who was it that took him out? Jaegeru, E100? And that's the match. Like I say, I used that one just because it was good fun, and I'd had a request for some more tier 10. And came out of that with 4,768 damage done, and I think I only hit 4 things. It just goes to show how powerful that thing is. And I think we've got one more replay coming up for you, and it's in the T20, tier 7 American medium tank, which I don't know if I've even shown that in a video yet, actually. I've got it fully upgraded because it didn't take me long because of going through all the other lines. So, yeah, here we are. Dragon Ridge, tier 7 match. And standard battle. Well, I've got the 90mm gun on this. 6 rounds a minute, which is actually one of the... I think it is one of the slowest, or if not the slowest rate of fire out of all the tier 7 mediums. They normally have... most of the other ones have got sort of a fairly high rate of fire, you know, low pen, low damage gun. Apart from, well, the Panther, that's 198, but very low damage at 135. And it seems to be a bit of a thing. I've heard it said quite a few times that there are not many decent tier 7 mediums. You know, you get some quite, I don't know, some vehicles that stand out, you know, at all the tiers below that and all the tiers above it, but the tier 7 mediums just seem to be a bit meh. And, yeah, I kind of agree in some respects. A lot of them are very similar or use very similar guns. There are a couple that do stand out and are overlooked a little bit, I think, but I don't think they're too bad. But no, I don't think it's the best tier for mediums in the game. But like I say, I've got the 90mm on this one, 6 rounds a minute, which is, you know, one of the slowest for the tier 7 mediums. But 160 pen and 240 damage, which is, you know, good for one of the tier 7 mediums. In fact, I think it might be the highest damage out of the tier 7 mediums, although I could be slightly wrong on that one. Although I can't think of one that has higher in the tier 7s off the top of my head. You've got 89mm of pen, 89mm of armour on the front of your turret and 64 on the sides and the rear. And this one, of course, comes after the Shermans, the Easy 8 and the Jumbo. And I hated this thing at first, I really did. I just didn't like it. It just felt slow, sluggish. It had the 76mm gun, which was just annoying me at this stage because I kept getting into tier 9 matches, and yeah, I really didn't like it. But then I got the 90mm, the engine upgrading. It's grown on me, it's not bad actually. You've got 64mm of armour on the front, 51 on the sides, and 38 on the rear, and that's on the hull. But it's got that great American gun depression, the 10 degrees. And it does make a good supporting sort of flanker. It's not particularly good at brawling because of the slower rate of fire, and the turret's not particularly good. But yeah, it's a good supporting tank. It can get about the battlefield quite quickly, and you know, when it's got somebody competent behind it, it can actually hit something. But at the moment, I don't seem to be doing particularly well, and I thought it was going to be one of those matches where it just sort of passes me by and I do really not much. Or, yeah, I'll just get taken out having done not much. But it came good in the end, so yeah, quite happy with it. And again, this tank is growing on me. I really hated it. Now, see if I can get a bit more damage done. There's a Tiger. Yep, he's done. The Boilermaker, they were all swarming over that corner. I actually came up, well, I came up the way that I did, expecting there to be a few more enemy tanks coming down that western side, you know, coming along the north to the west and up that side, but there wasn't really anything apart from that light tank. And they all seemed to be over in the eastern side of the map, at the other end of this village, so managed to take out the Tiger, but he was a one hit. Managed to take down that Boilermaker, and now I'm going to cautiously go along and see if I can get some flanking shots into the Hammer. I'm feeling that other Boilermaker will possibly be dead by the time we get there. Let's see if I can do anything to this this Hammer. No, careful, don't want to go blasting out. He's not looking this way. And I managed to get him in the ammo rack, lovely. And if I hopefully hit him roughly in the same place, I might be able to pop his turret, and yes, beautiful. Nothing quite as satisfying, apart from when it's your first hit on a full health tank and you do that. That's more satisfying. Now we've got this T-29 between us. There's a tank destroyer, another medium with me, and a heavy. And we seem to be making short work of him. I might take a hit here, but I've got a lot of health to play with. I didn't quite reload in time. I actually thought that at the time. I thought doing, you know, pull back, and I don't know. There was only a couple of tanks left. I got most of my health, well, nearly all of it. And I thought, you know what, no, I can afford to take a hit, but hopefully I should reload before he does. But, well. It happens, and I've still got over half my health to play with, and there's only a heavy and a tank destroyer left. So it was a calculated risk. I just hope it's not going to come back and bite me in the arse. Now the heavy was heading over this way somewhere. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Whoa, back up, back up, back up. And luckily he's missed. That could have been very nasty. Go for the ammo rack in the... Sure, there. When I can talk, go for the ammo rack in the corner. And, yeah, I did hit it, actually. And the guy behind managed to pop his turret. But if you've got the OIs, in fact, it seems to be nearly all, so far, of the Japanese super heavies. Those corners of the hull where I was aiming for, that's where the ammo racks are. But yeah, that was a nice bit of teamwork. I set him up, he knocks him down. And now all we've got left is a tank destroyer. And it turns out, excuse me, it turns out it's a T-28 concept. I think I check on the team lists, unless I have done already. And I saw that it got no kills. Now, I think I've said before that normally at this point in a match, if somebody's got no kills, there is a good chance, not always, excuse me, again, not always, but there is a good chance that they're either going to be AFK, or they could have just had a bit of unfortunate luck and they've damaged a lot of stuff but not actually got any of the kills, or it could be that, like this guy up here, he's been waiting, sort of covering base and waiting for anything to come around into his line of sight. Now he might have got some damage done, I'm not entirely sure, but it's, you know, it's an educated guess. You have to look at these things, and usually if there's somebody left, the last tank in the match, and they've not got any kills, a lot of the time in my experience they have been AFK. Now I tried to get round on this guy and I'm trying to knock his tracks off. He's got a very, very wide gun arc, but it looks like he can't quite get it round to me, and I'm just trying to take his tracks off so I can, well, so that I can basically stop him from turning around and putting a 105mm shell into me. And I don't think I've knocked them off yet, but he just seems to have stopped, so I don't know if he's got jammed, maybe. It kind of looks like the front of his tracks in the floor there. Oh, there we go. Did he? I don't know, he could have got jammed, but somebody else is coming to give me a hand. The Chinu, is it Chinu Kai? And that's him done. And there you go. A nice little victory in my T20. I've just been doing the daily doubles in it so far, but I've, well, if I keep going like that, it won't be long before I'm into the Pershing. 3,228 damage done, 5,000 for my daily double, although I did get some extra, because I got 94,000 silver for that one. But I got 10,000 for the team player op, 25% extra, that's XP and silver for the USA playoffs, and another 25% extra silver for I Will Survive. But I also got a high caliber and a first class mastery and came top of the table, so I was quite happy with that one. And yeah, like I say, it's grown on me. It's quite a nice little medium tank there. I'm quite enjoying playing it. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed tonight's episode, and I'll be back tomorrow with the map tactics video, fingers crossed if everything goes well. So until then, take care out there, and I will catch you next time. See you later.